All right, let's dive into Philadelphia. Looks like we've got some great stuff to work with today.
Yeah, should be fun.
Excerpts from FlightNHotels.com and a pretty comprehensive guide to Philly's tourist attractions.
Sounds like someone's planning a trip.
Maybe,
Yeah.
but even if not, we can all live vicariously, right?
Okay.
So we're going to hit those historical highlights, the must-sees, maybe some hidden gems.
And of course, some practical tips to make the most of your time, right?
Absolutely. Got to make sure our listeners are prepped and ready to hit the ground running.
It's amazing how much Philadelphia has to offer.
Right.
I mean, from its role in American history to its art and culture scene, it's really got something for everyone.
Let's start with something iconic, something everybody knows. Independence Hall.
Of course.
But I'm always curious, about those behind-the-scenes stories. Can you imagine the debates that happen there?
Absolutely. It's not just a building. It's like a living testament to all those struggles and triumphs of the nation's founders.
Those rooms saw the birth of American democracy. And speaking of powerful symbols, we can't forget the Liberty Bell.
Oh, for sure.
It's just a short walk from Independence Hall.
Yeah, easy to see both in one go.
But it's incredible how this single crack can turn an object into an icon.
Yeah, it really represents that ongoing pursuit of freedom.
It's almost like the crack makes it more human, more
Ooh.
relatable.
I see what you mean.
And while we're in that historic neighborhood, what about the Betsy Ross house?
Yes.
Is that whole story about her sewing the first American flag, is it true?
The historical evidence is a bit murky on that one.
Ah, okay.
But regardless, the house itself is interesting.
Yeah.
It gives you a glimpse into life in 18th century Philadelphia.
Ooh, I love that.
And the roles women played during the Revolution.
That's what I love about history. It's all about those little details that bring the past to life.
Absolutely.
But Philly isn't stuck in the past, right?
Yeah.
What about some of the modern attractions that really stand out to you?
Well, the Franklin Institute immediately comes to mind.
The Franklin Institute.
Yeah, it's a science museum, but you wouldn't believe how captivating it can be, even for adults.
Really?
They have these mind-blowing exhibits. Imagine walking through a giant beating heart.
Wow.
Or taking a virtual reality space ride.
That's such a cool juxtaposition, right? Science and cutting-edge technology all in one place.
Exactly.
And for someone like me, a total animal lover, the Philadelphia Zoo is a must-see. It's one of the oldest in the country.
It is, yeah. And they're doing some really amazing work with endangered species.
That's awesome.
They were actually pioneers in creating these natural, enriching habitats for the animals.
Oh, so instead of just cages, they have spacious environments that resemble their natural home.
Exactly. It's about giving the animals a better quality of life.
I love that. Okay, now, let's be honest. No trip to Philly is complete without a visit to Reading Terminal Market.
Oh, tell me about it. A food lover's paradise.
It really is.
This place is a feast for the senses,
Yeah.
the sights, the smells. It's incredible.
You find everything there, right?
Everything. Classic Philly cheesesteaks, roast pork sandwiches, artisanal cheeses, you name it. Even Amish baked goods.
Oh, stop. I'm getting hungry. And if you're not a foodie, there's plenty of craft vendors selling handmade goods too, right?
There is, yeah. It's a great place to find unique souvenirs.
Sounds like there's something for everyone at Reading Terminal Market. Now, I was intrigued by this mention of Spruce Street Harbor Park in our guide.
Oh yeah, Spruce Street Harbor Park is pretty special. It's a seasonal thing, but it basically transforms the Delaware River waterfront.
Really?
Turns it into this vibrant, relaxing space. Imagine lounging in a hammock overlooking the water.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
They have food trucks, games, all sorts of fun stuff.
It sounds like the perfect place to unwind after a long day of exploring the city.
It really is.
But since it's seasonal, that's something to keep in mind when planning a trip, right? Okay, let's talk art. You've given us information about some major art destinations in Philadelphia, and I'm ready to dive into the Philadelphia Museum of Art.
Sounds good.
I mean, everyone knows the Rocky Steps, but what's waiting for us inside? What kind of art are we talking about?
We're talking serious art history here.
Yes.
You'll find iconic pieces by Van Gogh, Picasso, Duchamp. It's a collection that spans centuries and continents, European masters, American modernists, you name it.
Wow, so quite a lineup. And I see you've also included info about the Barnes Foundation. What makes that collection unique?
Well, the Barnes Foundation focuses more on post-impressionist and early modern art.
Oh,
They have a big emphasis on works by Matisse, Renoir, and Cézanne.
nice.
But what really sets it apart is how the collection is displayed. It's not arranged in a typical chronological or thematic way.
Really, how is it arranged then?
It's actually based on the personal taste and vision of the founder, Albert Barnes.
So it's like getting a peek into his personal art preferences.
Exactly. It's a very unique way to experience art.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But one thing that I think really sets Philadelphia apart from other cities is its public art.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Tell me more about Mural Arts Philadelphia. What's the deal with all these murals?
Philadelphia is home to over 4,000 murals. It's this incredible initiative that's turned the city into a giant open-air art gallery.
Wow, 4,000. That's a lot of murals.
It is, and they're not just pretty pictures. They tell stories, they reflect the community, they bring vibrancy to these neighborhoods.
It sounds like a real treasure hunt, discovering these murals tucked away in different corners of the city.
It is. You can join guided tours or just explore on your own and stumble upon them.
So you can really experience Philadelphia's artistic spirit and see the city from a different perspective.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've covered some historical highlights, iconic attractions, art scene. Let's talk about those distinct Philadelphia neighborhoods.
All right, what do you have in mind?
Well, you've provided some great info on Old City, Fishtown, Rittenhouse Square, and South Street. But are there any lesser-known neighborhoods you think are worth exploring?
Absolutely. Philadelphia is a city of neighborhoods,
Right.
each one with its own unique character and charm.
Like what? Give me an example.
For example, Northern Liberties.
Northern Liberties, okay.
It used to be an industrial area, but it's been revitalized into this trendy hub. Art galleries, boutiques, innovative restaurants.
So it's a place to be for those who love discovering those up-and-coming areas with a bit of an edge.
You got it.
What about other hidden neighborhood gems?
Manayunk is another one.
Manayunk.
It's nestled along the Schuylkill River.
Oh, nice.
Really lovely blend of old world charm and modern energy. You can stroll along the historic Main Street, explore unique shops.
Sounds charming.
You can even enjoy a scenic walk along the canal towpath.
Sounds like the perfect place to soak up the local atmosphere. And since you mentioned the Schuylkill River, let's talk about the Schuylkill River Trail. I love that it offers a chance to enjoy the outdoors without leaving the city.
Yeah, the Schuylkill River Trail is fantastic.
What's it like?
It's a 10-mile paved pathway that follows the river, offers stunning views of the city skyline.
Wow.
Perfect for walking, running, or biking. And it connects all these different parks and attractions along the river.
So you can easily hop off the trail and explore.
You got it.
That's fantastic. And speaking of parks, we can't forget Fairmount Park. It's huge.
It's huge, one of the largest urban parks in the country.
What can you do there?
Over 2,000 acres, rolling hills, forests, meadows. Even the Philadelphia Zoo is in there.
Oh, wow.
They have hiking trails, gardens, historic mansions, even a Japanese house and garden tucked away inside.
Wow, it sounds like you could spend a whole day exploring Fairmount Park and still not see everything.
Easily.
And of course, there's Philadelphia's waterfront. What kind of experiences can we expect there?
Philadelphia's waterfront is really a hub for recreation and entertainment.
Oh, okay.
You can go kayaking, paddleboarding, take a scenic boat tour.
Sounds fun.
They have waterfront dining. You can just stroll along the piers and enjoy the view.
It sounds like there's something for every activity level and interest along the waterfront.
For sure.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground already. Historical landmarks, modern attractions, art, foodie stuff. Before we talk about the best times to visit, let's go back to FlightNHotels.com. How can that website help us plan a trip?
FlightNHotels.com is great because it lets you compare prices on flights and hotels all in one place.
Oh, that's convenient.
Super convenient.
So I can find deals, score discounts, make the planning process easier.
Exactly. Streamline everything.
Convenience is key, especially when planning a trip. It's so much easier to have everything in one place.
I agree.
Okay, now I'm excited to hear your insights on the best times to experience Philadelphia.
All right, let's talk about that. Each season really offers a unique perspective on the city.
Okay, I like that. Lay it on me. What about spring?
Spring's beautiful, of course.
Yeah.
Pleasant weather, everything's in bloom, lots of outdoor festivals and events happening.
Springtime in Philly sounds lovely. What about, say, someone who prefers a more laid-back experience, fewer crowds maybe?
If you're looking for fewer crowds, definitely fall.
Fall, okay.
Cooler temperatures, plus you get that stunning fall foliage.
Oh, yeah.
Especially in Fairmount Park. And other green spaces, but Fairmount Park, wow, it's a sight to behold.
Okay, fall foliage lovers, take note. Now, summer's probably the most popular time to visit, right?
It is, yeah.
But you mentioned crowds.
It does get crowded.
What are the trade-offs? What can we expect?
Summer in Philly is definitely vibrant, lots of energy, outdoor concerts, beer gardens, festivals all over the place.
Sounds fun.
But yeah, those crowds, and potentially higher prices for accommodations.
So something to consider when weighing your priorities.
Mm.
Okay, last but not least, winter. Seems like a totally different experience.
It is, yeah. Winter in Philly has its own charm. The city's beautifully decorated for the holidays.
Oh, that's nice.
And there are plenty of cozy indoor attractions to explore. Museums, theaters, historic sites.
Yeah, makes sense.
Plus, you can always warm up with a delicious cup of hot chocolate or some of that famous Philly tomato soup.
Okay, so we've got options for every season, every type of traveler. Spring, summer, winter, fall. I'm already picturing myself wandering those cobblestone streets. Let's go back to some of the specifics. I'm ready to hear more about Independence Hall. You said it's more than just a building, right?
Oh, yeah. Independence Hall is actually a whole complex of buildings.
A complex.
It played a key role in the founding of the nation. You have the Assembly Room. That's where both the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution were debated and signed.
Wow.
Then there's Congress Hall, where the first Congress met.
Right.
And Old City Hall, which housed the Supreme Court in its early years.
It's incredible to think about all that history. How much history happened in those rooms? What's the best way to experience Independence Hall? Should we just show up?
I highly recommend taking a guided tour.
A guided tour, okay.
The park rangers, they're the ones who lead the tours.
Okay.
They're so knowledgeable, so passionate about those landmarks.
Yeah, I bet.
They really bring those events to life, help you connect with the past.
That's good to know. Okay, I have to ask, the Liberty Bell, what's the story with that crack?
There are a bunch of different theories, actually.
Oh, really?
Some people think it happened during a test ringing way back in 1752.
So 1752, wow.
Others say it occurred sometime in the early 19th century.
So we don't know for sure.
The truth is, nobody knows for sure, and that just adds to its allure, doesn't it?
It's almost like a symbol of imperfection, showing that even something so powerful and symbolic can be flawed.
I like that.
Now, the Philadelphia Museum of Art, you mentioned some incredible pieces, Van Gogh, Picasso. Can you give some more specifics about the collection?
Yeah, the Philadelphia Museum of Art has a truly world-renowned collection. It spans centuries, all sorts of artistic movements. They have masterpieces by Van Gogh, like Sunflowers, one of his most iconic works, and works by Picasso, too. Les Demoiselles d'Avignon, considered a groundbreaking piece of early modern art.
Wow, those are some heavy hitters in the art world. You also mentioned Duchamp. What's significant about his work?
Marcel Duchamp was a real pioneer. He was part of the Dada movement, which basically challenged all these traditional notions of art. One of his most famous pieces, Fountain. It's literally a urinal that he signed and submitted for an art exhibition.
A urinal?
A urinal. It caused a huge controversy, but it really made people rethink what art could be.
That's fascinating. And speaking of challenging traditional notions, the Barnes Foundation sounded pretty unique.
Yeah, the Barnes Foundation, it's all about how the collection is displayed. Albert Barnes, the collector, believed that art should be accessible to everyone.
I like that.
And that its power is in its ability to inspire, provoke thought. So he arranged his collection based on aesthetic principles, not traditional categories.
So what we'll see Renoir next to, like a bicycle?
Well, not quite a bicycle, but you'll find Renoir, Cézanne, Matisse, all hung alongside African masks, Pennsylvania German furniture, everyday objects.
It's like a giant mix-and-match art experience.
Exactly.
Sounds like a really eclectic and thought-provoking way to experience art. Definitely adding that to my list. And the murals, we can't forget about those. Scattered all over the city.
Mural Arts Philadelphia is such a cool program.
Yeah.
They've been transforming public spaces into these vibrant works of art since the 1980s.
Wow, that's a long time.
The murals address all sorts of themes. Social justice, community issues, historical events, cultural celebrations.
It's like each mural tells a story, reflecting those diverse communities and experiences. Seems like you could spend days just wandering around discovering new murals.
You could. There are murals in almost every neighborhood. You can take a guided tour to learn the stories behind them or download their app.
Well, there's an app.
Yep, the Mural Arts Philadelphia app. You can create your own self-guided tour.
That's a great tip. Okay, let's delve into those neighborhoods. We touched on a few, but I'm always on the lookout for hidden gems. Northern Liberties, you mentioned that. What else can you share?
Northern Liberties is a great example of how Philly's always evolving. It's like a former industrial district that's become this creative hub.
Okay.
You'll find all these converted warehouses that now house art galleries, studios, performance spaces.
So it's the place to be for cutting-edge art and culture.
Definitely. And they also have trendy boutiques, craft breweries, hip restaurants.
A real buzz, a real energy.
Totally.
And Manayunk. You said it has a mix of old world charm and modern energy.
Manayunk has a rich history. It was a big mill town back in the day.
Oh, interesting.
You can still see some of that industrial past in the buildings, but today it's got this charming main street.
What kind of shops can we expect?
Manayunk has a great mix. Independent boutiques, vintage clothing stores, art galleries, specialty shops.
So I can find some unique souvenirs there.
Oh, for sure. Handmade jewelry, one-of-a-kind gifts, locally made crafts, home decor.
Sounds like the perfect place to support local businesses. And it's situated along the Schuylkill River, right? So there are opportunities for recreation.
Definitely. Runners, bikers, walkers, they all love Manayunk.
Makes sense.
You can hop on the Schuylkill River Trail. It runs right through the neighborhood.
Okay.
Or explore the towpath along the canal.
The Schuylkill River Trail seems to be a recurring theme in our Philadelphia explorations. What are some of the highlights along the trail?
The trail offers these incredible views of the city skyline.
I bet.
And it connects various parks and attractions. You can stop and admire Boathouse Row.
Boathouse Row?
Yeah, it's this historic stretch of boathouses. They date back to the 19th century.
Oh, wow.
You can also visit the Philadelphia Museum of Art. It's right on the trail.
So you can combine your love of art and the outdoors.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic. And Fairmount Park, with over 2,000 acres, where do you even begin?
Fairmount Park is its own world. You could spend days exploring it. Rolling hills, forests, meadows, waterways.
Yeah, you said it's huge.
One of the best ways to see it is to rent a bike. They have miles of trail.
A bike? Okay. What are some must-see spots within the park?
Well, we talked about the zoo. Great for families.
Yeah.
But for something more tranquil, I'd recommend the Shifuso Japanese House and Garden.
A Japanese garden in Philadelphia.
It's this beautiful oasis of peace and tranquility right in the heart of the park.
That's unexpected, but intriguing.
Yeah.
What can we expect to find there?
The Shifuso Japanese House and Garden is a traditional 17th century Japanese house. It was actually a gift to Philadelphia from the city of Nagoya back in 1953.
Wow, that's a cool gift.
It's surrounded by a stunning garden, koi pond, waterfalls, a tea house.
Sounds very zen.
It is a perfect place to escape the hustle and bustle and experience a little bit of Japanese culture.
It sounds like a truly unique and immersive experience. And since we're talking about unique experiences, Philadelphia's waterfront, what makes it special?
Philadelphia's waterfront has gone through this huge transformation.
Oh, yeah.
It's a vibrant destination now, something for everyone.
Like what?
You can stroll along the Delaware River waterfront.
Okay.
Incredible views of the Benjamin Franklin Bridge. Dine at waterfront restaurants. They have pop-up beer gardens, outdoor concerts, festivals, or just relax by the water.
It sounds like the waterfront has something for every taste and mood. Any particular spots you'd recommend?
One of my favorites is Spruce Street Harbor Park. We talked about it earlier.
Yeah, the hammocks.
It's a seasonal thing, pops up during the summer. It basically turns the waterfront into this festive gathering place.
I'm picturing those hammocks swaying in the breeze. What else makes it special?
Spruce Street Harbor Park has this really cool vibe. It's eclectic.
Okay.
They have these floating barges with gardens, games, food vendors.
Okay, I'm sold. Spruce Street Harbor Park is on my must-visit list. Now, switching gears a bit, food. We've mentioned cheesesteaks, roast pork sandwiches, but beyond those iconic dishes, what other culinary delights should we look out for in Philly?
Philadelphia's food scene goes way beyond those classics.
Okay, good. I'm ready for more.
You can find everything from those award-winning fine dining places to those cozy neighborhood cafes.
Yeah.
But one thing you absolutely have to try is a soft pretzel from a street vendor.
Oh, Philly soft pretzels. They're legendary.
They are.
What makes them so special?
They have a unique recipe.
Okay.
Gives them this slightly chewy texture, a distinctive flavor. You usually get them warm with mustard.
Yeah, classic.
But you can also get them with cheese sauce, even cinnamon sugar.
Okay. I'm officially craving a Philly pretzel. What other local specialties?
If you're a seafood fan, you gotta try a Philadelphia-style crab cake.
Crab cakes, all right.
They're packed with jumbo lump crab meat, very little filler, so you get that pure, sweet crab flavor.
Okay, seafood lovers, take note. Philadelphia crab cakes are calling your name. And dessert. What are some Philly sweets we need to try?
Well, you can't go wrong with a classic cannoli.
Cannoli, good choice.
From one of those Italian bakeries in South Philly.
Yeah.
But if you want something different, try water ice.
Water ice. What's that?
Water ice is a Philly institution, especially in the summer. It's this frozen treat
Okay.
made with fruit, water, sugar, similar to Italian ice, but smoother, creamier.
Wow. Sounds incredibly refreshing on a hot day.
Oh,
Okay, we've covered so much in this deep dive. History, culture, neighborhoods,
yeah.
cheesesteaks, murals, hidden gems. But remember, this is just a glimpse of what Philadelphia has to offer.
So many hidden gems, so many local favorites.
Right.
With a little planning, a little research, you can create the perfect Philly itinerary.
And as always, FlightNHotels.com can help with those flights and hotels.
So you can focus on experiencing all that Philadelphia has to offer.
We're not done with our Philly adventure just yet. Stay tuned for part 3 of our deep dive. We'll uncover even more fascinating insights and hidden gems. We're back, ready for the final leg of our Philadelphia journey.
Let's do it.
You promised some hidden gems and local favorites.
I did.
So let's uncover them. What else have you got for us?
All right, let's tackle one of the most hotly debated topics in Philly.
Oh, okay, bring it on.
Cheesesteaks.
Cheesesteaks. You can't talk about Philly without cheesesteaks.
Exactly. You find them everywhere. But where do you find the best cheesesteak?
That's the age-old question. Everyone has an opinion.
Everyone.
I'm curious to hear yours. What do you think?
Well, you can't have this conversation without mentioning Pat's, King of Steaks, and Gino Steaks.
Oh, the classics.
The classics. They're right across the street from each other in South Philly. Been battling for cheesesteak supremacy for decades.
That's like a cheesesteak showdown.
It is.
What are the key differences? How do they stack up?
Both use thinly sliced ribeye steak, melted cheese, onions on that long, crusty roll.
The essentials.
But Pat's is known for their Whiz-Wit.
Whiz-Wit.
Cheesesteak with Cheese Whiz and fried onions.
Okay, I've heard of that.
Geno's, they offer more cheese options. Provolone, American.
So it really comes down to personal preference.
Yeah.
Cheese Whiz or provolone, that's a tough choice.
It is.
But, I've heard there's another Philly sandwich that deserves some love.
You're talking about the roast pork, right?
Yes, the roast pork sandwich. Often overshadowed by the cheesesteak, but oh, so good. Any recommendations? Where can I find a truly outstanding one?
You gotta check out John's Roast Pork.
John's Roast Pork, okay.
They're no frills spot, but they've been serving up some of the best roast pork in the city for like 80 years.
80 years, wow.
Their sandwiches are simple, slow roasted pork piled high on a seeded roll, sharp provolone, broccoli rabe.
My mouth is watering. John's Roast Pork added to the list. Okay, now what about attractions that are a little more off the beaten path?
Off the beaten path.
You mentioned the Eastern State Penitentiary. That sounds intriguing, but kind of spooky.
It's definitely a unique experience.
What's the deal with it?
Eastern State Penitentiary was once one of the most famous, most expensive prisons in the world.
Wow.
Housed some notorious criminals. Al Capone, bank robber Willie Sutton.
I've heard those names.
Today, it's a National Historic Landmark.
Okay.
They have guided tours, exhibits. You learn about the history of prison reform, the lives of the inmates.
It's amazing how a place with such a dark past can become a space for education and reflection.
It is.
Speaking of spaces for reflection, you mentioned something called the Magic Gardens.
Oh, the Magic Gardens.
What is that?
That's a truly magical place. Created by an artist, Isaiah Zagar.
Okay.
He spent years transforming the South Street neighborhood into a labyrinth of mosaics, sculptures, found objects.
A labyrinth, wow.
It's a feast for the eyes. It's really a testament to the power of art to transform a community.
It sounds like a hidden oasis right in the heart of the city.
Yeah.
What did he use to create these mosaics? What are we talking about here?
He used everything. Broken tiles, bottles, bicycle wheels, mirrors.
Mirrors.
The result is this incredible kaleidoscope of colors and textures. You'll be mesmerized.
I can imagine. Okay, you also mentioned something for literature lovers, right?
Right. The Rosenbach Museum and Library.
The Rosenbach, okay.
A real treasure trove if you're into books, history.
I'm intrigued.
They have a collection of rare books, manuscripts, art, a first edition of James Joyce's Ulysses, Bram Stoker's handwritten notes for Dracula.
Oh, some serious literary gems there. I can only imagine the stories those walls could tell. Okay, before we wrap up our Philadelphia deep dive, any final tips or advice for first-time visitors?
Remember, Philly is a very walkable city.
Oh, that's good to know.
Wear comfy shoes. Be prepared to explore on foot. That's the best way to find those hidden alleys, charming cafes, those unexpected murals.
Great advice. What about public transportation? Is it easy to get around using Philly's transit system?
Definitely. Philly has a great public transportation system. Buses, subways, trolleys.
Okay, so we could ditch the car.
You got it. Affordable, efficient way to get around, especially if you're staying in Center City.
Explore like locals. I love it.
And one more tip. Don't be afraid to talk to the locals.
Oh, good one.
Philadelphians are known for being friendly, welcoming. They love their city, and they're happy to share their favorite spots, give you some insider tips.
There you have it, listeners. We've journeyed through Philadelphia's rich history, vibrant culture, diverse neighborhoods, tasted iconic cheesesteaks, marveled at breathtaking murals, uncovered those hidden gems.
Philadelphia truly has something for everyone. History buff, art lover, foodie, or just looking for a fun getaway, Philly's got you covered.
And as you plan your own Philadelphia adventure, remember FlightNHotels.com.
Your go-to resource for the best deals on flights and hotels.
So start planning that trip and get ready to experience the magic of Philadelphia. Until our next deep dive, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep those adventurous spirits alive.